things concerning the lifestyle, businesses, and activities that make our area such a great place to live. Today I have Ed Romo with me, and he is the star of the Huntington Beach Bike Parade, and so excited to have you here. Ed, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, so please do share a little bit more about the bike parade, how it got started, your involvement, all of the things.
So it kind of started back at 4th of July during COVID, 2020, when the big 4th of July parade that we have here in the city, they kind of revamped it. They split it into 3 parts, and they kind of just cruised through the neighborhood. And it was just, it was tough. That was tough times. So a lot of the merchants downtown had to close down. They were closing, opening, going back and forth, and the whole shot. So they were hurting. A lot of them were hurting, and it was tough. And so what I did was one of the people down there, Gallagher's, he's a friend of mine. So I told him, hey, I'm going to get some friends together, and we're going to, come down and have some food, have some drinks, and celebrate 4th of July here. And so he's like, oh, okay, cool. And he's also a promoter of big music concerts. So when I told him my idea, he goes, hey, let me get you with my guy, and you guys come up with a flyer. And that way you can just give it to your friends and whoever you want to. And yeah, have them all come to my place. I mean, he was all happy because he wanted, some people to come in and have some drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
So I did. And then when I was on Facebook, and I'm definitely not a, one of those kind of guys that's on there every single day. But I looked, and there was a forum that was on there, and it said, what's on your mind? So I'm like, I wonder if I could throw this flyer on there. So I did. So I posted it on one of the forums one time, and that was it. And that was on a Sunday afternoon, the weekend before July 4th. And so on July 4th, when I got to Lake Park where we met, where we were all going to meet, there was over 1,000 people there. And I pulled up
1,000 people off of one Facebook flyer.
on one flyer. So I was just thinking, I was hoping for 30 would be good. 40 would just be great. I'm like, yeah, if all my friends show up, it'd be perfect. And when I got there and I looked around, I thought something else was going on. So I'm looking around and like, hey, this is nice. What else is going on? But it wasn't. They were all there for the bike ride. And it was really nice because of the fact that it really reached out to families. So there was little tiny kids, grandmas and grandpas, and people just getting out of the house. They just wanted to get out because we couldn't do anything. And our beaches were shutting down. You couldn't be within 10 feet or 6 feet of anybody. I don't think you could have parties at that time of more than 10 people. So you remember how it was. So we were just like, if you're riding a bike, you're out, you're past 6, feet, no matter what you're riding. And so I think everybody kind of thought about that. I didn't think about that, but them thought about that. So all of a sudden there was just all those people, and I couldn't believe it. And I also started it too because I was thinking about my daughters. My daughters are Kayla and Cassidy. I have 2 daughters, and whenever we'd watch a parade every year, it's our tradition. Afterwards we would go riding bikes in the streets. They're still closed, and my daughters were small, so they're on their little bikes, and it was a pretty cool thing for us to do as a family. So so that's why I had the idea of starting a bike ride, was because of how much fun they had when they were kids. So it was just a good memory for me. And so so we that was gonna be one and done. And then all of a sudden the next year was it jumped from 1,000, and people asked me to do it again. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it again. And it went from 1,000 people that time to around 6,000 bicycles.
6,000? Oh my gosh.
So now, and it's funny because now I only posted on Huntington Beach forums. So nobody really could hear about it. And just unless you lived here.
Yeah.
Get that many, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow. And we would just cruise through the neighborhood, nothing fancy. We'd come downtown and everybody would just hit Main Street, and a lot of people would just keep riding, and they go down to the boardwalk and
Yeah.
they ride either towards Sunset or towards Newport. Newport has a lot of great restaurants out there, so I think a lot of people went down there, and it's a nice ride. Excuse me. And then, so went to 6,000, and then after that, I was like, wow, I guess I'm gonna have to do this again. So the third year I had approximately 10,000.
Oh, this is like mind-boggling how many people wanted to come out on bikes, but it's such a fun tradition.
Oh,
And if your kids liked it and everybody else liked it, that's amazing.
oh, they love it, and they love it now because they know, like in my heart, it was like the whole thought. Every time I see this, I look and I see little kids, and it's almost like I look at them like I'm looking at my own kids.
Yeah.
So I see different phases of my girls when they were growing up. So I just look, and it's just like, you know, especially the really tiny, tiny ones that are riding, little training wheels, and you see them out there, big old smiles, and they have their, they're painted red, white, and blue, and stickers and things, and little hats and stuff on. It's like it's just so exciting to see them all excited, and then for me to see them like that, even though they don't know me, it brings back the memory of my girls, and
Yeah.
so you can feel the love when you're there. If you watch the videos, you'll see so many people, but they're all so excited, to be riding, and you'll see a lot of families. And then over the years, I've added a couple little things, nothing crazy, because it is still just a neighborhood bike cruise. Um, but it did go from 10,000 that year. The next year went to 15,000, and then this last year they were estimating around 20,000 bicycles that showed up. And still the same thing. Like even the city wanted to help promote it.
Yeah.
Uh, but I told them I really don't want that. Really,
Yeah.
all this is us locals and our families and friends that come in. So the only way really people hear about this is through somebody that basically lives here.
Yeah.
And we all over. I mean, there's people that come from all over the state now. I have people that are out of state that are texting me going, when's a bike ride, and some people out of state, saying, hey, we used to live there, but we moved, we're not locals anymore. And
Yeah.
so, I go, is Huntington in your heart? Do you still love the city? They're like, oh my gosh, we miss it so much. That's our home, and I'm like, well, then you're still a local. I go, there's no, anybody can come to the bike ride. I go, but when you love Huntington, I go, it makes it even better. I go, so yeah, I go, come on down. And I even tell them, I go, if you come all the way from there down here, I go, you find me and you come up, because I would just love to shake your hand and just, welcome you, and say, hey, look at the changes that have went on, and all our cities, here locally have been, changing a lot, and it's really nice. I mean, it's pretty good, but yeah, now I pulled some veterans in the front. So I have some veterans in the front. I give them a free lunch. I give them, they get some nice medals that say, thank you for your service, of course, on the one side. And these things are heavy. And then on the other side, it has the bicycle cruise of that year. So I have like emblem for them. And then they also get these homemade leis by one of our local girls, Tina Toulouse. She'll go through and she makes these for the veterans. She's also a veteran. And I believe also, so she makes these, you know, by hand and comes in, and everything, the whole thing that goes on, it's the community, and nobody gets paid. We don't get paid for anything. I have sponsors that help pay for stuff. Like people will tell me, they're like, hey, um, I'm not going to charge you any labor, but this is how much it'd be for supplies, materials and stuff. And, it's the huge things that, you just want to give to them. I always give them all a big hug. I'm a hugging guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Thanks. Because these are locals that are also already my friends, and now they're going above and beyond to give to the rest of the community, so it's just the whole vibe, everything it just goes. So really the only people that kind of that I get in contact with are just people on Huntington Beach Forum, and then also surf clubs, because we are a surf city. So
Yeah.
I try to surf club up and down the coast, as many as I can. Say, hey, come on down to our city, surf in the morning. When you get out of the water, jump on this, ride for us. So, we all our friends, all the beaches, we all surf locally.
Yeah.
Huntington, Newport surfs with here at Huntington. We're all friends. We all get along great, and it's the love, the love for the ocean, the beach, and our city. So, um, and we're all active. Living here by the coast, it's very active. And then I also add some roller skaters in there. So
Cool.
at least around 200 roller skaters, and I try to get them, if they're just by themselves, they come to the front, and they're kind of like a cushion between the veterans and the rest of the people. And it's just nice. So when people come up, and if anybody's watching this from other states, they get that beach vibe. The roller skaters. You don't have to be on a bike. You can be on anything. You don't have to be on anything. You can jog. It's only a
Yeah.
mile and a half long, and it's just you just cruise. And we end up downtown. This year, I'm going to have 5 different bands at 5 different little bar and grills, and then
Awesome.
then the city's also going to have their block party.
Okay.
So, kind of done celebrating our bike ride. Then their things are going to start, and they'll have live bands on Main Street. So if you come down, you just do a little mile and a half ride, and then if you end up staying here, I'll have 5 different bands downtown, and then when those bands are ending, we'll have 2 more bands, and one's a classic rock, and the other one is country. It's Redneck Rodeo,
Oh my
and
gosh, I love Redneck Rodeo.
oh
That's
yeah, so they're going to be there, and then one of mine at Bruno's, where he's actually the one that'll be hosting the veterans for a free lunch. Um, they'll be having either line dancing, or he'll have a band, a country band there. So as you get in, you like country, you can go to Bruno's and have country. And then when that band's about done, Redneck will almost be starting. So you walk down the street, and in the street, you'll be able to watch Redneck Rodeo. So you could have a nice country day of it. Now, if you like reggae, I'm going to have reggae over at Killarney's Bar and Grill on Main Street. Um, I don't even know what this other band, what you would call their music, but they're really, really fun. They're going to be at Hurricanes. And then another band will be kind of classic rock, but not so classic. We'll just say kind of like Sublime,
okay.
songs like that band. Will be most likely at Perks. I'm still working on that one. And then Cruisers around the block. They'll be having they might have both, a DJ going into a band. So all this will be starting at noon, as soon as we all start to arrive downtown.
Oh,
So
how fun.
same exact time.
How do
So
you like get the bands booked, and like is that something that who's paying for them? Because obviously like they're expensive.
it comes out of the sponsors partly, and
Oh,
then so what happens is I kind of get all the money from everything, and then it basically put it in one big pot, and
yeah.
then pay out what I can. So I get all the flyers, paying for the bands, some of the lays, um, banners, everything. And so I do all that, and then I put a little bit of my own money in there usually, and then just pan, because it's like you start something, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, if I could just do this too, it would be great, But you look and you're like, no more money. Well, I'm gonna put money there because you just want it to do it better. So, so there's always something, but the bands, a lot of them are getting sponsored by the bars.
Yeah.
So either they'll give like gift cards, which I give to my volunteers that day, and then they will pay for some of the band, and then I try to give them cash for a little more of the band, or whatever we do. And a lot of the bands also, they know this whole thing and what's going on now. That not they won't charge, but they'll be like, oh, you know what? It's for the community. It's for the locals. So hey, you know what? Our price is going to go way down. So it works out. Yeah, it really, really is a great community thing, and you can tell when you're walking around. Just it's like it's hard to explain. If you ever look at the videos on YouTube under 4th of July, Huntington Beach 4th of July bike ride, you'll see me out there, and I get in the middle of the street, and I'm just giving everybody high fives, and it's like it's everybody you just want to hug everybody. Everybody wants to hug everybody else. They're just like, "What's up? How you doing?" And people that haven't seen you in so long, people that have never seen people's kids, they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I have kids now." They're like, "Oh my God, that's your kid." Well, this is my kid, and it's just a whole bunch of just fun, nice, just love. I mean, really, that's community love of just everybody having a good time and with their families, you know, um, even the little kids, riding a bike with their grandpa, let's say, and out there riding and and their grandpa's there and the grandpa will have his face, painted. And um, it's just hard to really explain the feel that you see until you're there. Once you get in there, it's just great. It's just a neighborhood bike cruise, but it is also now the largest. I guess I Googled the other day, and it's the largest Fourth of July bike ride in the United States right now. So
Amazing. It started as something you thought was going to maybe be 30 people. That's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, we just go a little ride and end up and eat, and have a couple of drinks on Fourth of July, and now it's pretty big. I think I'm gonna have to get me a committee now because
Yeah, this is like the PSA that you need a committee for 2026.
yeah,
So,
yeah, 'cause getting all the bands set up. I mean, there's a lot of stuff,
I know.
And so, working with the city. The city now blocks off the street all the way down Main Street. So
Yeah.
we have out for a mile and a half. In the middle of the summer during the a weekend, which
Wow.
isn't. But they block it all the way down. They give me a police escort. They clear out all the cars. Fire there for any kind of accidents. Um, we have free face painting for the kids this year. Yeah, I guess it's pretty big.
It's huge. So I want to know, obviously, when is it happening this year and like what time so that people can join the local love?
Yes. So we will be leaving Huntington Beach High School, which is Yorktown in Maine. We'll be leaving there at 11:30. And with the route, we're just going to go straight down Maine. It's about a mile and a half, pretty much downhill. So it's not like a big bike ride and you're going to get all hot and sweaty. It's just a pleasant ride. So we start at 11:30 from there, go down to Main Street. It's going to be July 5th, which is a Saturday after July 4th.
Okay.
A little rough, but still, we're going to be there.
It's a little later in the day, so that's good.
Yeah. And like I said, a lot of people, they just plan on doing the ride, but then once they get riding, they want to keep going. So they get on Main or on the boardwalk and they just ride. And yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. It really is. So.
Well, Ed, thank you so much yes, I'm gonna have to bring my family. I'm so excited that it's on a weekend and you can party all day, you're gonna have the music all day, and then there's still another day to recover. So that's fantastic. Thank you for all you do for the community. Like this is, like you said, the community clearly feels a need for it. They are embracing it. It's growing and growing. So obviously, it's a success. And it's so exciting that it's coming up right around the corner. You're doing a tremendous job. I can't even imagine coordinating an event like that for free for so many people to enjoy.
Yeah, it really works out great, and it's really the community doing it for itself. Where it's like locals for locals. We're just I don't know. It's hard to explain. We get out there, ride, and have a good time. So.
Well, and Costa Mesa is invited too. Obviously, it's all local love. So
yes,
and all of these beach cities, people love to ride their bikes. So this will be a great day to do it.
Yeah, especially Costa Mesa, so close, and Newport.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in Anaheim Hills, so we down to Newport. That would be our beach that we'd all go to all the time. So straight down the freeway, straight there. And we had a lot of friends that their parents owned another home here on Newport. So for us, for my brother and I, we grew up basically going to Newport all the time.
Awesome.
So I love Newport. I mean, yeah, and Costa Mesa, I don't even know what the difference is.
The border's kind of blurred. Yeah. Well, everybody can hike on over to Huntington High and be part of the parade. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it will be. Perfect.
All right. Well, Ed, thanks so much. And where can, if people want to see more information about it, is it on like the Huntington Beach forums? Is there a website or anything?
I'm just getting a website up right now, but I do have the HB Bike Parade. I believe it's called. That's on Instagram.
Okay.
And Cindy Lee is actually going to be making me one for Facebook. Apparently, according to my kids, yeah, Facebook's for the older people. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll be having one there, and it'll be nice. And then once I have the flyers out, I put them on all the forums. There'll be a QR code. If anybody has questions, they can go on there, and it answers a lot of the questions. So it'll be nice. But yeah, I'll keep you updated.
Keep me updated. I'll make sure to link to the Instagram for sure. And then if anybody has an interest in being part of this committee for next year, reach out and I'll hook you up with Ed.
Perfect. I like it.
All right. Well, I will see you soon, Ed. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.